Here we are with yet another entry into the bedbuckkken series saga. I'm starting to find out that these aren't even that hard to find. It's just that, because one thing I like about the bedbuckkken series is that the jokers practically write the jokes themselves, and I just happen to find them, and I'm able to turn them into commentaries. Now, y'all have heard me mention the name Joe Madison before. I actually mentioned him in my Malcolm Nance video and what Malcolm Nance was talking about, and I just kind of talked about it. And the thing is, I didn't even think I was going to have to do a bedbuckkken on Joe Madison, but I saw this tweet right here, and I also had an unexpected assist from one of my followers on here, but I'll get to that part when I get into the video. So as we all know, Joe Madison, like I said before, he's a radio host on FM radio through Sirius FM. And he basically talks about a lot of, different things, but he, for some reason, got so fixated on this voting rights bill that he went on a hunger strike, and I believe that he's still on it. And before it actually, they're trying to get it to pass right now. Keep in mind, he's been on this so-called hunger strike for the last 40-something days. To the point where even his fans, his base is saying, okay, Mr. Madison, we understand what you're trying to accomplish, what you're doing, but at your age, you really need to think about your system. He'll always come back and say, oh, don't worry about me, just worry about you. I know what I'm doing, yada, yada, yada. And I kept telling people, this guy is straight up and down rude as hell. Like, I got to tell you, if you've never had an opportunity to listen in on his show, well, first off, good for you. But if you ever come across it, then you'll understand that this guy loves to cut people off if he does not agree with anything that they say. All I'm going to say is this. If you even mention Trump's name and what he perceives to be a good light, he'll cut you off and then go in on you. He might cuss you out and then hang up on you and then go to the next caller. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. And the person doesn't even have to be a Trump supporter. If you just speak about Trump in a supposedly good light, he will hate you for it. I kid you not. But he's gone on this hunger strike because of this Voting Rights Act or Voting Rights Bill. And I'm starting to see that I think I know why they want that bill to pass. It's because of whose name is attached to it. No, I'm not talking about Joe Biden. It's because it's named after John Lewis. It didn't dawn on me until right before I made this video, because before I was starting to record, the person who I went to follows me. They had retweeted something on their page that came from another bedbuckkken that I talked about, and that was Jimmy Clyburn. And he was talking about that same bill, but I saw the name John Lewis. And we all know John Lewis, Mr. Good Trouble. I never understood that terminology. I said, what the hell is good trouble? Like, how is trouble good? But okay, it is what it is. But we know who John Lewis is. Well, if you don't know, he was the one that marched with Dr. King and got his ass beat on that bridge. And I'm only talking about it in that tone is because he loved to talk about it so much. If you didn't know anything else outside of that, that would be the only thing he would ever be known for. And to quite honestly, be frank, for some, that's all he'll be known for. Because when it comes to black people and helping us out, he didn't really help out with that. As Professor Black Truth puts it, he was just there to get a job. It just is what it is. But the reason why I'm highlighting Joe Madison today is because I wanted to talk about this tweet that he put up on January 12, 2022. Where he was talking about if Strom Thurmond could support voting rights, every single United States senator can, should, and must do the same. First off, you use Strom Thurmond, a staunch dub S, someone who hated black people, and I'm almost certain would never support voting rights. As a matter of fact, I know he wouldn't have supported voting rights. Let me show y'all this right quick. Before I go into the part that I'm gonna talk about, let me give a shout out to LB. Some of y'all may be familiar with LB. He has his own channel. He does his own commentary as well. And he's pretty much B1 as well. He talks about a various different topics. But he came across, he got this post right here and he screenshotted it. Before I read what it says, he says, so did you not know this or you chose to lie? Either way, you're poisoning our youth with your diarrhea of the mouth. Strom Thurmond was a staunch and an unapologetic racist. Someone Sloppy Joe rubbed elbows with stopped the buffoonery. He said, and this is what it's coming from with Strom Thurmond. He said in the 1960s, he voted against the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights of 1965. Despite his support for racial segregation, Thurmond always denied the accusation that he was a racist by insisting he was a supporter of states' rights and opponent of excessive federal authority. Let's keep in mind what Joe Madison said. If Strom Thurmond could support voting rights, every single United States senator can, should, and must do the same. Now I'm confused, Joe Madison. You say that he supported voting rights, but this right here is saying that, where is it? That he voted against not only the 1964 Civil Rights Act, but he also voted against the Voting Rights of 1965 a year later. Now, Joe Madison, you were born, you predate both of these events. Yeah, Joe Madison predates both of these events. He might have been a child, but still, this happened after you, a few years after you were born. And you're saying right here that he did, so you are lying. Or like LB said, you just chose not to do the research. You just you just opened your mouth or opened up your Twitter account and decided to put anything out there. Like, really? This is what we're doing? See, this is what I'm talking about. And I bet you, because someone else said it in under Joe Madison's tweet. It was actually one of the first replies. Do you or anyone who is telling people to support this bill, as far as non-political people, such as citizens, such as ourselves, do y'all even know what's in the bill? Because to my knowledge, this Voting Rights Act or whatever is going to help even further give immigrants the right to vote. I think that's one of the parts in that bill. So if that is true, because like I said, this is alleged for me right now. If that is indeed true, you are literally aiding in the support of pushing more immigrants who are illegal the right to vote. That pushes us as black people, black Americans in particular, further back. Truth be told, I hope that this bill does not pass. I truly don't. And every other black person who has their head on straight shouldn't want it either. This means nothing to us. Cut the check and cut the shit. That is all.